Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing a Dodge Challenger RT with the manual. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Provo, Utah for giving me some time with this Challenger. This particular Challenger is still available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check this car out and the rest of the stuff they have. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a naturally aspirated 5.7 liter Hemi V8 that goes through a 6-speed manual transmission. Fuel economy is 15 around town and then 23 on the highway, with power outputs being 375 horsepower and then 410 pound-feet of torque. And before anyone asks, here's our last call plaque. Now before we go over the front end, I do want to mention that if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you've got the scoop there in the center, which just looks so cool. And by the way, this green paint does not look good on camera whatsoever. It looks a lot better in person. Coming down below, you guys can see the daytime running lights, and then you've got that RT badge there in the grill. It's kind of hard to see because it's all blacked out. And we've got some fog light action down below, and yes, this does still have the little transport guards on it. Putting it all together, again, in person, it looks a lot better. The camera kind of makes the green have like more of a white hue than it actually does, and so it looks kind of funky, if that makes sense. Coming around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 245, 45, 20 in the front and over in the rear. And then you guys can see with the coloration on the wheels, they are metallic gray, and I love the fender here on the Challenger. I think it looks really cool. And then you guys can see the 345 badge because it's got the 5.7 Hemi. And then here's your full side view with the Challenger. Such an iconic design, boxy and muscular, just like a muscle car should be. So here's our key fob. We have our unlock function or lock function, the opening for the trunk, and then the Dodge logo there on the back. And popping into the trunk, this is one of the cool things about the Challenger is, although this is obviously a sports car, a muscle car, you still have a pretty big trunk, so you could use this as a daily driver. Now I've got this cool spoiler here on the back end. I mean, this Challenger literally looks like the original Hellcat, which I think is cool. And then you guys can see the taillights here on the back, also really iconic design. Dodge logo there in the center, and then you got parking sensors at the very bottom. And putting it all together, this retro design, it's never gonna get old. It's so cool. Now taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see soft touch here at the top with stitching that goes across, easier to see there in the sun, and then also down below. They've definitely brought up like the overall feel of the interior of the Challengers. It feels a lot more upscale. Automatic with the windows, we've got memory seats, blind spot monitor, the mirrors, and then this one has the Alpine sound system. And then taking a look at the rear seats, you guys can see the mix between the leather and the Alcantara. There's kind of a better view of that. But yeah, you can fit people back there, unlike the Mustang and the Camaro, but it is still a muscle car, so it is going to be a little bit on the tighter side. And then these front seats continue that trend. You guys can see with the inserts here and the leather trim on the outside. Really cool look. And then you got the 3-pedal layout, because again, it is a manual. And then your light controls here, and then you guys can see the stitching and the padding there on the dash. So here's a quick look at the steering wheel. Really nice trim all around. You can see perforated here on the sides and get better grip. Radio controls on the back. Got our cruise control here, controls for the center stack, and then voice command phone controls as well. Now taking a look at the gauge cluster, you guys can see that you've got the RPMs on the one side and then you've got the speed on the other side. And you know, as for the rest of the center portion, it basically shows you a bunch of different bits of information. The cool part is to see like the timers and everything with this. Always a little fun thing to see. And then obviously the top speed, which 67 miles an hour. Let's just say this can go quite a bit faster than that. Now you do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and well, resolution's pretty good. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, first off, we've got dual zone climate. We also have heated and ventilated seats. Response time with this system is really good. And on top of that, right, you've got the performance stuff. So for example, if I press the little super track pack button, it'll pull up the different drive mode setups here. You also have line lock, you got launch control. It'll just hold the RPMs. So you're still gonna have to do like a clutch drop and everything because it's manual, but still cool that it has all of that performance stuff. You guys can see the stitching and padding all over the dash, and it says Challenger there off to the side. And then we've got our analog controls here for the radio, climate setup as well, and then your sport mode, super track pack. And of course we've got the shifter, Tremec 6-speed manual. And that's actually one of the things that is interesting because The Scat Pack and the RT have a Tremec, but then the Hellcat has the manual transmission from the Dodge Viper because it has too much power. Well, the Hellcat used to have a manual, doesn't have one anymore. But this Tremec, we'll talk about it more later during the driving, but one of the best manual transmissions out there. Got some cup holder action here, and then you can see with the storage in the center console. And do like the padding there, and then with the glove box, yeah, good storage as well. And then up top, we don't have a sunroof or anything like that. So here's the winter sticker for this RT Plus. You guys can see the base MSRP right there. This one does have quite a few options added to it. So you've got the Plus package added, and then you can see we have the technology group, we got the black top. After all options, this one stickers for $49,995, so basically $50,000. And let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors, just do a blind spot monitoring. And throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, let us set off here in this manual Challenger. I always say that, like, oh, this is going to be my last Challenger review. And then I see one at a dealership and I'm like, you know what? I got nothing better to do with my life. So let's review another one. But I really do like the spec on this one with the bright green, loaded up RT. I think that this could be the sweet spot for a lot of people. I've said in the past the Scat Pack is the sweet spot because manual transmission, enough power to have fun, but not too much power to where you're gonna be breaking the law all the time like in the Hellcat. But, you know, I think for some people this might be the kind of the sweet spot. So, first off, really smooth with the engine at low speeds. The transmission is also great. It's got like a super nice notchy feel to it, and so yeah, it's really cool with the experience. It's really easy to drive. Honestly, this would be a great manual to learn on. Expensive car to learn on, but the transmission's a great one. It's one of the best manuals ever. And this engine, it's pretty blippable. It's pretty dang blippable. I'd say the 6.4 might be a little bit more blippable, but still, this is really good. Seat comfort's good in this. These seats are on the firmer side. I will say these will probably hold up better over the long term compared to the leather seats, just because I've noticed that leather obviously kind of deforms over time, whereas, you know, when you have Alcantara, it seems to hold up better over time. I've owned a couple Raptors with Alcantara seats, and the seats look brand new after ownership, so it's just kind of a thing. Man, why are there just so many people? I feel like jaywalking has become the thing to do in 2023. Oh man, yeah, really, really blippable. Love the sound of it too. It's got such a nice, like, deep, throaty sound. So I think they've done a great job with, yeah, just like the overall. I mean, again, ultimately, it's just basically a truck engine in a car. So. But I think still, it's fun. It's cool what they've done here. Okay. Let's see what this RT is all about. Ah, man, it's like the perfect amount of power. You can go through the gears. You can feel like the muscular nature of the car, and you don't have to, you know, have the wee-woo squad following you around everywhere like in a Hellcat. I just think that's cool. So to sum things up, I love the look of the Challenger. It's sad to see this car go. It's such a cool concept, right? Just basically take, like, ultimately what this is they took a sedan, they took a luxury sedan from Mercedes, they hot rodded it with a truck engine, and then they threw a manual transmission in it. Like, that's the coolest thing ever. It doesn't get cooler than that. It's like, let's just take things that are not related whatsoever, pick up truck parts with, you know, like the sports car transmission, and then a luxury body, and it just, when you put it all together, it just leads to such a fun, comfortable driving experience. And I just don't think there's going to be anything else like this in the future. Again, luxury car body with truck engine and the sports car transmission. It's a match made in heaven. Let me know what you guys think.